Hello, viewers. How are you today? I want to welcome you again to our show today. I hope you have watched the last video. If you have not, please make sure you watch it. I don't want you to miss. Yes, together with me is my amiable brother, Mr. James Okovo. You know, he's always here to make sure that this show is insightful and very impactful. Today, we shall be discussing the topic says adversity quotient. Adversity quotient. See, I always tell you, make sure you are very attentive because you will must gain. When I say you must gain. Now, adversity quotient. Mr. James, we are here again. Our fantastic viewers are looking us again. They are very, very hopeful, or they are looking to what they will gain today. Yes. What can you say about adversity quotient, sir?
I'd like to thank you for having me again today, and especially our viewers who are taking their time to actually learn from what we do. I mean, they are the reason why we get the motivation to come here. Because if they don't listen to us, then we'll be talking to ourselves.
Exactly.
So I'd like to especially appreciate them in their number for taking their time always to see that when we do our production, they go ahead to listen to us. So thank you. God bless you.
Amen.
All right. Talking about adversity or adversity quotient as topic is, I'd like us to see that, so we'll not begin to speak a lot of grammar. Let's bring it down where everybody should understand in a few seconds, because people don't really get time again. If you talk so much, you're like, waiting this person to talk. They just need to understand what we are saying and then get it. It's about you being someone who strives or who survives hard times or hardship. I understand that you're going to put it in a better grammatic form, but this is me just saying adversity quotient is about surviving the hard times and the ability to scale through difficult moments. But the quotient inside has to do with measurement. We are talked about the IQ, the intelligent quotient, right?
Yes.
And then today we are looking at the AQ. So the quotient is just about the measurement. For you who did mathematics, you know what the importance of measurement and all of that. Me, I did not do mathematics, just like I mentioned the other time. So the measurement inside is when people begin to try to quantify the ability to survive through circumstances or strive or scale through difficult times, hard times or down times. The problem is not even with the measurement, because a lot of persons didn't care. But the problem is where people do not understand that they are being expected to survive even when moments are difficult or hard. Where we have young people who really want things to be soft all the way, and then they feel that life is a bed of roses. So when there's sun, they say, child, this sun too much, I know to go out. They want the weather conducive. Any day they're supposed to survive and adapt.
Survive and adapt. Yes. Now, I would just like to come in that area. Talking about adversity quotient, is the measure of one ability to overcome and persevere circumstances, challenges, and adversity. In life, there will always be challenges. There will be up and down. Now, it's not left for you. The ability for you to persevere during that moment, as Mr. James has said, the ability for you to persevere, the ability for you to adapt during that moment is very important for you, because you have to develop a strong adversity quotient. And developing a strong adversity quotient will help you to endure. People with high adversity quotient, people with strong adversity quotient can be able to scrape through or can be able to withstand every challenges that comes their way. So, Mr. James, now one thing I would also like to ask you is that, for example, now, because we have the spirituality aspect of this thing, and most of us believe that when you are going through one challenge or the other, they may target to one spiritual thing or the other. Yes, we don't have to neglect spiritual aspect. It is very important. There are many spiritual challenges. But how can we enlighten our viewers on the ability to understand that there will be challenges in every aspect? It cuts across every aspect of life, in our marital life, financial life, material life. Yes, in every aspect there will be challenges. So I want you to enlighten our viewers on how they can understand this more better.
I would like to say we know a man, or we know real humans or real people, not when they stand on the seat or sit on the seat of comfort or stand in comfortability or comfortable moments, but when they have hard times or they face adversity. That's when we know men. And then scripture says that he who faints during the days or on the moment of adversity, it means his strength is small. See, there's just nothing we will say much, but I would like our viewers and everyone listening to understand that hard times will come. Of course, tough times never last, but tough people do. You cannot be in this world and not face hard times. Some people just look at some people, especially the rich, and they say, these people, they haven't done too much. They don't see suffer. They are not facing hard times. Forgetting that those people face tough times. There are times rich people don't even have money too. And theirs is difficult because if a poor man lacks money, he can go to anybody and ask for money and beg. But rich people don't want to come down, and then their level is so high that they struggle to maintain that status. If they come down, they feel die. So everyone you see on planet Earth is going through one difficult moment or the other. So it's about you being ready to adapt, about you being ready to know that when it is your hard time, you're not saying that village people they do you, because even village people they try. Imagine somebody fighting grace or somebody fighting divinity. The person they try, that person who fights for you not to become spiritually is equally playing his own part to live. Maybe that is his or her occupation. So it is not everything that happens to us that we should tie it to spirituality or tie it to village people, because even village people get work to do every day. If you understand these concepts, this precept, these minor things, I should call it minor things because they are common, you will not allow everything to shake you. You will not allow everything to move you, because you know that when you're facing your tough time or your down times, it is just for a short time. It will not always last forever. See, when I tell people that I really face difficult times and I hardly fear anything. I don't know if the word fear still exists to me, because I've really seen situations, I've seen times. I remember when I was in JS1, I had no sandals. And then how I was ridiculed was something else. It was like I was an orphan, even though I had my parents. And then I had to understand, because I was ridiculed. It was so bad that if school dismisses, I'll either be at the forefront going to the house first so that I will not be laughed at, or I will be behind so that I will not be laughed at, as young as I was at the time. Just so that people will not laugh at me so much and I feel bad. It was that bad. But today things are not the same. If I tell you how much I spend on footwear now, you'll be surprised. So that is it. And then I remember the time where things were so tough that I don't know if you've ever experienced a situation where you don't have what to eat. It's not like you are expecting something to eat, but you are so sure that there's nothing to eat. All of those moments are moments that trains a person, builds a person. As I am right now, I don't see anybody using hunger to threaten me for any reason, because I know when I eat and when I don't eat. But there are young people who don't want to understand that. You understand? Times are difficult, things are expensive, but they still want to fry all the eggs in the world to eat. They still want to eat the noodles in the world. They still want to eat 3 times, 4 times, 5 times a day. They still want to feel very comfortable. This is a time where you should streamline some things, where you should shape yourself, where you should reconfigure yourself to fit into the system. Because assuming things don't get better, and then you are that one person that was pampered or that was too cared for, that you saw life as a bed of roses, and then because you left mommy or daddy, and then you think you will die. No, you should be that one person who adapts, who fits into the system. I have a child where I stay, and then the child was eating too much. If you see this young boy looking all around like malt bottle, very fast, So I called him one day. I was like, guy, this thing you're doing is going to affect you one day. He said, uncle, what? I said, I'm telling you the truth. You one day go to a place mommy and daddy will not be there, the way you eat will affect you. He said, no, that if he doesn't eat 400 man size of Indomie at the time, now they don't even reduce it, he will not feel fine. I said, what is it? I said, even me who is an adult, I don't eat that. I cannot even eat up to 1/3 of what you are talking about. So why you? He said, uncle, that's the way he eats. Somehow he got admission into boarding school. The first day he came back, I'm struggling not to call his name. The first day he came back, we only recognized him by his head. Everything reduced. We saw this boy and was like a stick of broom. Somebody was all fat. So assuming he already got into the system and fitted in before that time, it will not shrink him that much. So people should understand, especially young people in Nigeria, that this is a time to be resilient, to keep fighting, to strive on, to keep going on. I trusted you for the definition you gave about adversity quotient, and you delivered, right? So they should understand that this is a time where you need to survive. If you don't fit in like that, it will be difficult for you. Because if things get worse, just like things are seeming now, what will you do? It means there will be more people committing suicide on the streets. The sun is so hot, but people don't want to go out because their system or their skin is going to be affected. It's raining, and so people will not go out because if rain touches them, they will get fever. What are they?
No, it's so very disheartening. I would just like to come in the aspect when you share your story about your secondary school days, that you went home, you don't want people to see you. That aspect, I can say that it can even contribute to low self-esteem. Yes, sometimes when you are facing some challenges, you may develop so low self-esteem. So my fantastic viewers, please, I want you to make sure that you take this thing to heart. Make sure that don't allow your situation, the circumstances, the challenges you are facing down to put your back to the ground, and don't allow it to reduce your self-esteem. There are many practical examples in life. I know from what Mr. James has shared now, you also have more that is rotating or that is roaming in your mind there. But one thing I want you to know is that make sure you are able to balance yourself. Develop mental toughness. This is one of the things that will help you to be able to be strong in adversity quotient. It helps you to be mentally tough, and when you are mentally tough, you'll be able to focus on things, and when facing that challenges, you'll be focused and you'll be able to come out of the challenges strong. So be mentally tough, have the ability to adapt. Things will always change. Yes, see what we are facing currently in our country, Nigeria. When you meet all these old people, they will tell you how things were then, but it is not currently now. We are believing that things may still get better, but make sure that you are able to adapt to every situation. Do not overfeed your child. Mr. James tell us about the child now. I wanted to ask you, is that boy the last born?
It's not the last born.
Because people believe that last born, that they are very spoiled, something like that. We understand that they believe that last born, they are very spoiled, that they eat excessively, they are a glutton. But I don't want to believe that. I don't want to believe
Are
that.
you a last born?
I'm a last born. So I don't subscribe to that philosophy.
Okay, talking about mental toughness. When I go around and I see young people not willing to take mental toughness as a serious thing, I just feel somehow, even if I will not talk, I just get to pass. How will somebody just feel very reluctant to calculate a simple thing, even if it is addition? They say, I beg it hard, I no one do. People are just living careless lives. I don't understand. You have to be tough. See, I'll share a quick story before we leave here for want of time. I was close to a friend. I shared this recently, right? I was close to a friend who joined some politics and felt threatened in some way. So because she saw me and I was around, I donated myself, let me say that. and then we became very close. And then I remember one of the times she needed to visit somewhere, and then I offered to help, and then we went there. When we got there, we had encounters, serious problems, because it was a motorcycle we used. And those type of bikes are common in Benue State. You go to Benue State, Boko and all of that, they call them falling off small bikes. So we had used the bike. On our way to the journey, we got a situation where the tire was flat. We tried managing to fix it and all of that, and then we moved on. When we got there, while we were returning, we were advised. In fact, we were manipulated to use a route we've not used before. Strange roads. That was into the forest, right inside one of the parts of Boki Forest. Boki is a very vast local government in Cross River State, So part of it is a very terrible terrain with high hills and lowlands and all of that. And it was in the night. So when we ventured into the forest already, and then we had another flat tire again for the second time that day. Before we could succeed to fix all of that, it was a long one. We ran already, it was into the night. That was around 8 or so. And then we could not go back to where we were coming from because we didn't even know the distance. We didn't even know where we were going to. That night, I saw things I've not seen before in my life. Entered the forest, and we were riding alone. To cut the long story short, we got to a place where the hill was so high, and so the bike could not carry both of us to climb at the same time. So I'd asked her to go climb the hill while the headlights would show her. And then when it gets to a certain point, I can ride up and come to work with her. When I rode past her up, and then I was coming back. She screamed. What was the problem? I flashed my light and saw a terrible serpent, a snake. If you know what the snake is, a snake is dead in motion, crawling right into the bush. Because she's a woman, she screamed and she cried. At that point, I needed to show some level of toughness under necessary conditions. Because if I join her to cry, who will help us inside that forest and in the night? And then, before I tried calming her down and all of that, that was just one of the incidents we saw snakes. What I'm saying is, at that point, I needed to be extra tough for her to have strength and have the support or have something to lean on in case of difficult, the fear and the whatever she was feeling at the moment. Do you know that this same person we hardly even talk today, despite all of what happened at the time? All right. So this is me surviving in spite of what I faced for her, and I can say, okay, I did it, and I had no other intention, and that is it. Fine. If we see maybe by accident, we can just say hello, hi, and we pass. So people cannot even survive this mental, what did you call it?
Toughness.
Mental toughness. Where, for instance, in a relationship and something happens, and then the next thing is, I cannot survive it anymore. They want to kill themselves. Or life is so difficult, let me take drugs. And then you want to feel good within a short period. Let young people know that it is key for them to be tough, whether mentally or otherwise. They have to be tough in some way. If you are in school and a lecturer is giving you headache, you have to be tough for that kind of person. If you are in your house and situations are changing, you need to be tough to face it. Because if you don't face it, who do you think will?
No one except you. Lastly, our fantastic viewers, I want you to take note of this also. Be persistent. Persistence is also very important. There is a saying that says, persistency is the key to stand on. Yes, you have to be persistent. For someone to be high in adversity quotient, you have to make sure you are persistent. When you are persistent, you will be able to achieve your set goals. You'll be able to achieve your set goals. Please make sure you are persistent. Try to endure and try to be mentally tough. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you so much. See, we see again in the
I would like them to leave feedbacks as well.
All right. Yeah. Dear viewers, make sure you drop your view about this topic, your comments about this topic. We are we are optimistic to hear from you also. Thank you so much. I remain Dipo Adewale. With me,
James. Thank you for having us
again.